welcome to our edition number 2 of Emerald Downs' Top 10 Races of the Week. I'm Paul Beatty, your host, and here on the Eli Sports Network. Eli Sports Network, the number one source for all things Emerald Downs. We have a lot of coverage. We hope that you'll take a look at our free website. It's Eli, E-L-I, sportsnetwork.com. Go there, click on the Emerald Downs tab, and a ton of stuff is going to come up all the way back 2 or 3, 4 years ago. You can check it out, but we put a lot of information up there for sure, covering our local racing circuit. Well, let's get to the top 10 countdown, and we'll start with number 10, and it'll be race number 1 on Friday. Luciel with Luis Reyes, the odds-on choice, going a mile. Looked like perfect stalking position for Luciel. And sat right behind the early speed of the long shot Laker Jet. Turning for home, should blow on by, but Laker Jet had something left, and Silvio Amador is getting all he could out of the Bob Bean trained Laker Jet, trying to pull the 19-1 upset, and for 6.5 furlongs it was all Laker Jet, and then gradually Luciel wore down that tenacious effort by Laker Jet with a pretty tenacious effort of her own. Let's go to the videotape. Here's Luis Reyes and Luciel.
The gate and runners away. Good start for Luciel. Laker Jet quick into stride from the rail. Oat Milk Latte settling into stride third in the early going. She's got the power back of that. Tis for Real and Merino Wool content to trail as they race round that Mount Rainier turn. And Laker Jet goes on to set the tempo here. She's clear length and a quarter of Luciel, who's tracking in second. 3 parts of a length to Oat Milk Latte, situated third on the outside. There's a gap of 2.5 to She's Got the Power. Tis for Real directly back of that. And Merino Wool now nudged along a little bit. There's 7 front to back with less than 5/8 of a mile to journey. They run through the first quarter in 23 and 49 100ths. Laker Jet at the inside, just in front. Luciel is right there, forcing the issue. There's 2.5 back to Oat Milk Latte next. Merino Wool is now in the fourth. Span of 3 back to She's Got the Power and Tis for Real. Around the far turn they go. The half 46 and 59 100ths, and Laker Jet is at the inside with a nose on the lead, but Luciel is shadowing her on the outside, and they've less than a quarter mile to go. Merino Wool continues to gain in third. They come off the turn and run for home. Laker Jet at the inside, Luciel on the outside. They square off with a furlong to go. Luciel striding, fully extended. Laker Jet battles back bravely, 70 yards to the line, and Luciel edging away now, and Luciel will take the opener by a length and a quarter. Laker Jet was second. Merino Wool finishing third. Oat Milk Latte to She's Got the Power and Tis for Real. Time for the mile 70 was 1:41 and 58 100ths.
Again, Luciel, the odds-on choice, only paid $3.36 to win, but Laker Jet, 10-18, $2 place in a 6-horse field, and some pretty decent payoffs, $1 exacta. This is with the odds-on choice on top, only 6 horses, $16.78. Folks, that's a 15-1 shot. 613 trifecta, $31.25, and the dollar superfecta, $185.30. Again, getting that done with an odds-on choice on top. Justin Evans and SCW Racing owners, and of course Justin Evans, leading trainer coming into this weekend, picks up the first win of the week. That was Luciel and our number 10 race. Let's get to number 9. The last couple of weeks, 4-time defending champion rider Alex Cruz has had kind of a tough trip out there, getting just a win in each of the last couple of weeks. He broke out big time this week, and he started it off on Friday, but this is the Saturday race, so let me get to that. Saturday, he did get a win on Friday. He got 4 wins on Saturday, the first 2 and the last 2, so he bookended it. This one, Moonlight and Wine, looked like he was done. He came around and this was 6.5 furlongs. Came around on the inside. The inside continued to be pretty good, although the middle of the track was much better this week, and you could get there from the outside a little bit. But Moonlight and Wine did that exactly. Trapped down inside, swung outside of 3 or 4 other horses in the stretch, and ran them all down here. It was a great burst. Alex Cruz gets his third win of the weekend after winning one on Friday, taking the opener on Saturday, and here he'll complete the Cruz Daily Double. Let's go to the videotape.
There they go. Hadley's Honor broke sharply in between horses. Now you have Night Quiller. Hadley's Honor, Night Quiller in between horses, out of the chute, onto the main track, now down along the rail. Hot Memories gets the lead. Hot Memories along the rail. In between horses, you have Night Quiller 3 wide in third, Hadley's Honor. Down along the rail, Moonlight and Wine. Second last is Warren's Candyman. And the trailer, seeing 'em all, is Emperor of the North. Into the far turn they go along the rail. That is Hot Memories. Hot Memories out there by a neck. In second on the outside is Night Quiller. Looking for racing room along the rail. That is Moonlight and Wine. And moving up on the far outside, that is Emperor of the North. Emperor of the North is a big shot. Down along the rail still, Hot Memories in between horses. Night Quiller on the outside, Emperors of the North. Emperors of the North maybe ahead in front, in between horses. Night Quiller down along the rail. Hot Memories, it's anybody's race. On the far outside now, that comes Moonlight and Wine. Down along the rail, Hot Memories. Hot Memories, Moonlight and Wine's going to try one last try. It is going to be Moonlight and Wine to score. Second along the rail, Hot Memories, and third, Night Quiller. Your unofficial winner is the 2, Moonlight and Wine.
Cruz went off at nearly 7-2, paid $8.64 on the $2 win. Hot Memories and Kevin Orozco, what an effort there. That horse just would not stop and battled so hard on the inside, giving way not until the last 50, 75 yards or so. At 7-1, Orozco looking to pull the upset, paid $6.20 and $4.02, and Night Quiller with Brian Pena at 6-1. So, we got 3-1, 7-1, 6-1 coming in here. The 2-1 favorite, Emperor of the North, flattened out and finished fourth. The superfecta here paid $32.17. That's $321. Again, a 6-horse field, $70 trifecta, and a $25 exacta. Now, the Alex Cruz Daily Double that many would likely bet paid just $10. Final time 116.17 for Moonlight and Wine. Races for Joan Hutchison and Jim Leslie. Vince Gibson is the trainer here, and Vince had a good weekend as well. So that is race number 9 in our top 10. Let's get to race number 8 coming up. And in our number 8 race of the week, it will go to Sunday. Race number 2, and Carlo Lopez had some distance to make up after giving up 4 wins to Alex on Saturday. He needed to cut back into that lead, and did so beginning in the second race with Vivacious Tribute. Vivacious Tribute is trained by Blaine Wright. Blaine Wright exploded on Sunday. Came out with by winning the first, second, and third races of the day. The Blaine Wright pick 3 though didn't pay all that much, about $12. So didn't fool too many, and thought that Wright would have a good start on Sunday, and he certainly did. Vivacious Tribute though, the most unlikely, 6-1, and Carlo Lopez put this one right on the lead, going just 4.5 furlongs. That's right. This was the first 2-year-old race of the season. So 7 2-year-olds lined up. We did have one late scratch. But Carlo Lopez, I'll tell you what, Vivacious Tribute looked like she'd been there many, many times. This was a horse that walked right into the starting gate, ran a very professional race. After the race, I was really impressed with Vivacious Tribute. Walked in, stood for the picture, no hesitation, no issues. Just a very, very professional effort by Vivacious Tribute here. And look, so on the track, jumped out to a 2-length lead by the stretch, held that 2-length lead, and then just put a whooping on him. 5.5 or 5.25 length victory for Vivacious Tribute over, again, the crowd with, all first-time starters here split. There were 2 5-2 shots and a 2-1 shot. The 2 5-2 shots would run second and third, but they weren't close to 6-1 by Vivacious Tribute and Carlo Lopez. Let's take a look at this young lady's performance. It's impressive.
Here for the 2-year-olds. And runners away. Good start for Vivacious Tribute, who shoots away to the lead here. DeSmoke is there to pick up the chase from the inside. The Lair is next on the outside, 1,000 miles from between horses. Kiss the Tiger moving through at the rail now as they head it midway round the turn. There's a gap of 3. Back to along the outside. See That Tiger, TB's Gray at the tail. And they round the turn and run for home. Vivacious Tribute kicks off the turn, 1.5 lengths to the good. On the outside, DeSmoke trying to reel in the leader, and the Layers back third. Deep stretch, Vivacious Tribute lengthening the stride and opens up 4 or 5 on them now. It's Vivacious Tribute and Carlo Lopez home in front. DeSmoke was second, 1,000 miles rushing in third. The Lair followed. Then came See That Tiger, Kiss the Tiger, and TB's Gray. Running time 50 and 87 100 seconds.
Vivacious Tribute covered the 4.5 furlongs in 50 seconds, 0.87. Owned by Margaret Root and, again, Blaine Wright, the trainer, his second of the day. 1442, 508, and 368 across the board payoffs with a 5-2 and a 5-2. Both 5-2 shots paid 344 to show. So, again, show bets have been paying pretty well, even with some of the upper favorites. 486 for DeSmoke, who ran second 1,000 miles. Luis Reyes on that, Carlos Montalvo and DeSmoke to finish it off. The 6-1 date are exacta, $42, trifecta $65, and the superfecta $703 on the dollar bet. So a nice payoff there. All right, those are our first 3 top 10 races of the week. 10, 9, and 8 are in the books. We're going to take a time out here. When we come back, we'll take a look at our race numbers 7, 6, 5, and 4. Numbers 7 through 4 in our countdown of this week's top 10 races at Emerald Downs.
You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
And welcome back to the top 10 races from Emerald Downs here on the Eli Sports Network. I'm Paul Beatty. We're going to run down 7, 6, 5, and 4 here. Let's get to our number 7 race of the week. It'll be Sunday's race 6 on the card. And Bourbon Tiger. Bourbon Tiger, they just was, again, another odds-on choice here. Did not disappoint as a favorite. Kevin Orozco had 3 seconds and 3/3 from 7 rides on the weekend, He had one more ride and made it a win. So very efficient, but this is the only one that was able to get across the finish line first, and it was an impressive effort. Frank Lucarelli, the trainer, told me he thought that she'd run pretty good today, and wow, a 5.5 length win here. Let's take a look at this impressive performance by Bourbon Tiger from Sunday, race number 6.
And runners away. Was a good start for Bourbon Tiger, who bounced off the mark smartly. Alice's House of Heart is right there to track early with Boozical Lady racing third a half. Then comes Forest Acclamation, fourth by 2. Scatalicious is directly back of that, still 2.5 or 3 to She Said My Way with a half mile to go. They race for the far turn, and Bourbon Tiger leads the way by 2, tracked by Alice's House of Heart racing next. Length and a half to Boozical Lady, Forest Acclamation the outside of that. Still a length and a half or 2 to Scatalicious, and She Said My Way with a quarter mile to run. They take it to the top of the stretch with Bourbon Tiger. Bourbon Tiger kicks off the turn, a length and a half or 2 to the good. Alice's House of Heart is chasing, and Boozical Lady is third. But in deep stretch, Kevin Orozco opens the reins on Bourbon Tiger, and she is absolutely running away. Bourbon Tiger, super impressive, winner by a half dozen. Alice's House of Heart finishing second. She Said My Way rallies for third. Boozical Lady followed to Scatalicious and Forest Acclamation. Running time was a quick minute 8 and 95/100ths.
And the overwhelming favorite, Bourbon Tiger, did not disappoint, went straight to the lead and extended that lead. Alice House of Heart and Carlo Lopez came up on the turn, looked like maybe had a chance, but Orozco and the Tiger had way too much left. And Alice House of Heart was clearly second best. 16-1, She Said My Way with Brian Pena gets up for third by a neck over Boozical Lady and Cayman McGregor at 6-1. Cayman, by the way, was the week's Jockey of the Week after getting his first 2 wins last week, and earned him that honor of being Jockey of the Week. But this one was all Bourbon Tiger. The owner, Gate to Wire LLC, Margaret and Benjamin Root are the owners. Again, Frank Lucarelli, the trainer. 322 on the win. Alice House of Heart, 452 and 372 and 416 to She Said My Way. The final time in this race, 108.95. Again, some very fast times at Emerald Downs this weekend. And the Superfecta still paid pretty decent, $211.80 on another 6-course field. So you can bet those dollar Superfectas, you can make some money at the track no matter what the field size. That is for sure. All right, let's get to our number 6 race of the week, and this is going to be Classic Leah. Race number 2 from Friday night. Kevin Krieger was back to ride this weekend and got a few rides, and man, he started off, 3 weeks ago he was here, had 3 mounts, got 2 wins and a third. Pretty good win percent at that time. Did get a win in this weekend, was on Classic Leah, but again, man, had to fight tooth and nail to get this win. Red Penny Night and Kevin Orozco, again, as we mentioned, he had 3 seconds, 2 of them he loses by a nose, and he had a late lead on the other one. He had at least a couple more that he may have had a chance. He also had bad luck on Sunday in the opening race. One of the top picks, Fruit Loops, was in there, reared up in the gate, and ended up having to be scratched, so he lost that mount on that one. Talking with him later, he thought he had a pretty good shot in that one, so he lost that one, but made up for it by picking up a win later in the card. And this one, though, was all Kevin Krieger. And, man, they came down. This is, there's only been, I think, 2 or 3 finishes by a nose. That's the closest order of finish other than a dead heat for first. We have not had that yet this year. This one was really tight. We had a couple of nose finishes this weekend. This was one. Classic and Leah. Check that. Classic Leah and Kevin Krieger taking on Red Panty Knight and Kevin Orozco. Let's take a look and watch at the very end and tell me if you could tell who won.
And runners away. Good start for Red Penny Knight. Flies off the mark from the inside. Classic Leah wastes no time and goes right out after it now. Running on from between horses for You Only. There's 2 back to Mischief Mama racing fourth. On the outside of that, Confidence Builders next, and 3 back to Heat Seeking Leda as they progress for the far turn less than a half mile away. First quarter, a swift 22 9/100ths, and Classic Leah brings them along by a half. For You Only is right there, and on the outside, Red Panty Knight fully engaged now and comes on from the outside. Mischief Mama's called on and 3 off the rail. Up to rally with a quarter mile to go. They round the turn and run for home. Classic Leah at the inside. Red Panty Knight on the outside, and Mischief Mama continues to gain with a furlong to go. Classic Leah is opening up now, length and a half. Red Panty Knight not going quietly, though. 50 yards to the line. Classic Leah, Red Panty Knight, Classic Leah, just enough. Red Penny Knight right there. Mischief Mama back to Confidence Builder. Heat Seeking Leda. And For You Only. Time of the race was a fast minute 9 and 76 100ths.
Classic Leah gets the photo by a nose, and again, big favorite, 274. What's that? 2-5, I think it is. And Justin Evans, the trainer, Ty Leatherman, and Justin Evans, the owners of that race, just paid 274. Here's an oddity because Red Panty Knight, even though 3-1, but so much money was put to place on Classic Leah, paid 212 to place. Red Panty Knight 280. But the show, because 30-1 Mischief Mama and Manuel Americano get up for third, boosted the show payoffs a little bit. Classic Leah actually paid 12 cents more to show than she did for the place at 224, 252 for Red Panty Knight. 496 payoff in a 6-horse field with a 2-5 shot in there for Mischief Mama. That's pretty good. And that is our 6th race of the week here at Emerald Downs. All right, let's move on to number 5. We'll get halfway through, and our number 5 is Moontime by Brian Pena, race number 4 from Sunday. And Moontime, again, the favorite at 8-5. This would be a mile race, and breaking from the number 2 hole, Pena goes right to the lead with Moontime. Stretches it out, never touched, sets fractions of 23.71, 46.88, and 110.80. Pretty solid fractions there, but had plenty left for the stretch, as he had a 5-length lead heading into the stretch, would win by 9. This is the largest margin of victory on the season so far, and it was all Moontime and Brian Pena. Let's go. Let's take a look at our number 5 race of the week.
Runners away. Good start for Moontime at the inside, who broke smartly. Proud Lion prompted as well. K-Line directly back of the leaders as they make way to the first turn. And they race round the Mount Rainier turn, and out front, Moontime is going on to set the tempo here. Leader 3 parts of a length. Alongside Proud Lion, SoCal Red settled into stride third by 2. Then it's back to K-Line tugging away at the bit next. Dark Mystery to the outside of that. 3 back to It's Big. It's 5 somewhere trails. They head it midway up the backstretch. A reasonable quarter, 23.71. And the tempo quickens up a bit, just over a half mile away with Moontime leading the way. Proud Lion is still right there. K-Line moving through at the rail. SoCal Red up to the outside. Dark Mystery follows that. Still 3 to its 5 somewhere, and it's big. Around the far turn they go. 46.88 went the half, and now they pick it up with Moontime, who continues to go on. Moontime clear 3. Proud Lion is chasing. SoCal Red is next, but they come off the turn and run for home. And they take it down the lane with Moontime just bounding away with the final furlong. Look at Moontime running clear. Now 6, 7, 8 going away. Moontime by a city block has won it. K-Line will finish second. It's 5 somewhere third. Dark Mystery followed to SoCal Red. Proud Lion, it's big in the back. Time for the mile, 1 minute 35 and 87 100ths.
Moontime just destroys this field, 135.87, a 9-length winner. Eliana Thompson and Kevin Chavaria are the owners, and George Rosales is the winning trainer here. Running second, K-Line and Leslie Mowing at 5 to 1. It's 5 somewhere. Isaiah Enriquez at 3 to 1 was third, and Dark Mystery, Carlo Lopez at 5 to 1 got up for the fourth place finish. Moontime paid $564, $362, and $252. K-Line 604, nice place payoff, $326, and it's 5 somewhere, $282. The first pick 4 of that day just paid $32.66 on Sunday. All right, let's get to race number 4 here. And race number 4, this is Sunday's feature race. Juan Gutierrez, and I'm going to have an interview with him in my coverage that you'll want to take a look at. Had a nice chance to talk with him after winning the feature race on Sunday. He goes gate to wire in the 6 furlong sprint with Miss Dynamic. Juan, of course, took all of last year off. We talked to him about, and you'll hear that in the interview, in the story when I put that up, hopefully later, or hopefully it's up by now by the time you're seeing this. It should be. And so he took last year off, came back, was working some horses. He says, I just needed to do something. So I thought I'd go and work horses before the season. And trainer after trainer, hey, you going to come back and ride? You're going to come back and ride? He goes, I don't know. And he finally says, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it my way. And I'm going to do it for the horses I want to run. So he's his own jockey agent. He's only taking so many mounts. Out of the last 6 feature races, he's won half of them. And he's only been on those 3. He has been in 5 feature races this year. He's won 4. So he's 80% winning the feature race when he's in it. And he didn't disappoint here, as Miss Dynamic got pounded down to 3 to 1. It was a wide open. Look at this: 3 to 1, 6 to 1, 5 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 4 to 1, 7 to 2. Those were the odds going into this race. It was well split. Miss Dynamic, about 2 minutes to post, was 10 to 1. At one point, 11 to 1. The late money came in on Miss Dynamic, pounded her down to favoritism at 3 to 1, and she did not disappoint. Jumped out of the gate to a 1.5 length lead. 2.5 length lead by the stretch, and she'd stretch it even further. An impressive comeback performance, Miss Dynamic, and Juan Gutierrez is our number 4 race of the week.
And runners away. Good start at the inside for Miss Dynamic, who goes right straight to the lead. You Go Girl is there to pick up the chase. Miss Bella's racing third, 1 from the outside. Ruby Rhea tightly knit 4th by a length. Here's Zippin' Sevens on the go, along with Zazin, Silvery Orbs at the tail. They're moving along quickly past the half-mile marker. Opening fraction of blazing 21 and 41. And Miss Dynamic shows the way with You Go Girl right behind. Miss Bella there from between horses. Ruby Ray kicks on the outside. Zaz in at the rail. Silvery Orb and Zippin' Sevens with a quarter mile to go. They head to the top of the stretch. Miss Dynamic takes them off the turn, 2 to the good. You Go Girl is chasing, and Ruby Ray third on the outside, but with a furlong to go. Miss Dynamic and Juan Gutierrez pulling away. Now clear 3, 4, 5, and Miss Dynamic going to win this one impressively by a half dozen. You Go Girl to take second. Silvery Orb rushing in third. Ruby Ray followed to Zippin' Seven, Zaz in, and Miss Bella. They stop the clock in a fast minute 8 and 11 100ths.
Washington bred Miss Dynamic by Dynamic Impact out of Miss Salome, and by Harbor the Gold was bred by the owner Antonio Mendoza. Rigoberto, Jesse Velasquez, the trainer, and these three hooked up. Juan Gutierrez, again, the winning rider. These three hooked up way back when Miss Dynamic began. Broke her maiden first race out, came back to win the Angie C, and then would run third in both the Shinpo Stakes and the Washington Cup Juvenile for fillies back in 2022. And again, last year, Gutierrez didn't ride. Did get a win last year here at Emerald Downs. Rocco Bowen came in and rode that win. But right back, it looked like Miss Dynamic was very happy to have her old friend back in the saddle, and she responded with an impressive performance. That is number 4 on the list. All right, we're going to take one more break. And when we come back, the top 3 and our top video, we've got a little controversy in there as well. But really, was it controversial? I don't think so, and we'll tell you why. That's coming up next here on Emerald Downs' Top 10 Races of the Week.
You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see that you can truly be. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
And welcome back to Emerald Downs' Top 10 Races of the Week. We're up to number 3, and Alex Cruz won the first 2 on Saturday, added his third win in the feature race, of course, Belmont Day. Cruz then would win the final race for his 4th of the day. He was aboard Peter Flies, and Peter Flies came in as the 3-1 third choice in this one. Broke out of the gate. He broke out of the gate. All of his wins were by a stocking trip on Saturday, except for this one. Broke out of the gate going 6 furlongs. Boy, and he flew 21.81 and 43.79. All the closers or stockers were thinking that Peter was going to slow down. He did not. Let's get to our number 3 race of the week.
Now in. And runners away. Good start for Peter Flies, who broke alertly. El Bromista is right there. Its turbo kicks on at the rail. Son of Thunder is next with Our Boy Roy, second last. Fast Times at the tail, midway up the backstretch they go. They've just over a half mile to journey now. Peter Flies brings them along by a length and a half. El Bromista right behind in second by a length. It's Turbo settled in third at the rail. Here comes Our Boy Roy up fourth on the outside. Fast Times begins to stir now with Son of Thunder. Midway round the turn they go. Peter Flies to take him to the quarter pole, clear a length and a quarter. El Bromista is next. It's Turbo to the outside third. Our Boy Roy is next, and they come off the turn and run for home. Peter Flies kicks away by two. El Bromista in pursuit. It's Turbo back third, but in deep stretch. Peter Flies and Alex Cruz going on. 50 yards to the line, and it's Peter Flies home in front. Race for second close between El Bromista. It's Turbo. Back of that, Our Boy Roy. Then came Son of Thunder and Fast Times. They stopped the clock in 1 minute 8 seconds flat.
Alex Cruz and Peter Flies at 3-1 wins by 2 in a time of 1:08 flat. 1:08 flat for Peter Flies and Alex Cruz. It's Turbo and Isaiah Enriquez. The 2-1 favorite ran a solid race. Would get up to be second by a head. El Bromisto and Carlo Lopez at 6-1. A really solid performance by El Bromista. And Carlo was third. Our Boy Roy and Leslie Mowing at 7-1. Hopped at the start, kind of threw him off, and then ran pretty evenly throughout the race. Dave Milburn, the winning owner, Charles Essex, will get the training win here. And again, Washington bred by Private Gold, out of Irene Flies by Rocky Bar, Keith and Jan Swaggerty, the breeders of this one. That is our number 3 race of the week. Let's get up to number 2, and again, we're talking about those close finishes. Again, another nose finish. This one coming from a Saturday, race number 4. Leslie Mowing on the 3-2 favorite, Shelby Gold, for Frank Lucarelli, who had 3 or 4 wins. I think 4 wins on the weekend, tying with Blaine Wright. Pop Chart, 6-1 outsider with Carlo Lopez, was going to give Shelby Gold all she wanted. These two would make this thing a match race from the quarter or from the half mile marker all the way. Yeah, pretty close right there. It was right there. Let's see, second, half. It was just a half length back at the half mile pole, and then headed for the stretch. They were head to head. This would come down to a nose to nose battle. Another close one here. Shelby Gold and Leslie Mowing getting the win.
And runners away. La Papis Extreme outside, broke smartly alongside Real Good, was quick into stride. Here comes Pop Chart though. Pop Chart is quickly away. Daredevil Princess now takes over though. Daredevil Princess 3 parts to Pop Chart, then it's 2.5 to Shelby Gold. We got to Drinking follows next. La Papis back to 6th on the outside. Parco picks up the running from between horses. 2.5 lengths more back to Foggy Bottom. They're into the far turn, and Real Good now drop back to last. Around the turn, and Daredevil Princess leads it by a half length. Shelby Gold is right there. La Papis 4 off the rail. Pop Chart finds an opening at the rail. Parco right behind the wall of leaders. They round the turn and run for home. Shelby Gold from between horses on the inside. Pop Chart the outside. La Papis and Parco. 200 yards remain. Pop Chart the inside, Shelby Gold and Pop Chart, these two noses apart as they come to the line. Shelby Gold, Pop Chart couldn't split the two. They hit the line together. Parco was back of that. Foggy Bottom followed to Real Good. La Papis, we got to Drinking, and Daredevil Princess, they stopped the clock in 1 minute 9 and 81/100ths.
Shelby Gold covering the 6 furlongs in 109.80. Again, a big difference from that 108 flat from Friday night, but a nice performance there by Mowing and Shelby Gold, willing her to get to the front. 508, 302, and 264. Pop Chart paid $514 and $322. Parco, a nice close for Kevin Krieger, to get up to pay $322 in that one. Winning owner, Rev Racing, REV Racing, the winning owner, Frank Lucarelli, again, the winning trainer. And this one is a filly. Shelby Gold is a filly by Harbor the Gold out of Donadu, and by Uh-Oh Bango, Washington bred again by Eric Jensen. That is our number 2 race of the week. And now time for our number 1 race of the week. And we're going to go to Friday night, the feature race. Juan Gutierrez gets the feature win. This is his second straight Friday night feature win. And he was the favorite, finally getting some respect at 9-5 aboard Executive Chef. Executive Chef rolled up on 7-2 Smiling Goodbye with Carlo Lopez, and then long shot Ko Samui with Jose Zanino. 26-1 would come up the rail in this one, and the 3 would go 3 across the track at the 16th pole. Right then, at the 16th pole, looked, from the pan vision, it looked a little odd. There was some traffic problems there for Smiling Goodbye, just a tad. The race would finish, and getting the win by a neck would be Executive Chef over Ko Samui, Jose Zanino. They went right at it. Smiling Goodbye would kind of get pinched out and finish third. And let's take a look at this one, and then we'll come back and talk more about that stretch run here in our number 1 video of the week.
Runners away. Good start for Capital Expense, who wastes no time and darts right out to the front. Smiling Goodbyes in the early chase with Executive Chef, one from the outside. It's all about the ride, a snug 4th by 2. Boss of the Moss back of that set. Ko Samui second last at the rail, and Dutton's at the tail as they sprint to the turn, 3/8 of a mile away. Capital Expense has the rail in a short lead. Smiling Goodbye is right there. Executive Chef gets a shake of the reins from Juan Gutierrez and is quickly there to converge as they run to the top of the stretch. It's all about the ride, swings to the outside. Ko Samui's launching a bit at the rail now. This one wide open as they head for home. On the outside, Executive Chef, Ko Samui is there. Smiling Goodbye. Back of that, Capital Expense. Ko Samui's driving through Executive Chef. Fight it out to the finish. Executive Chef, Ko Samui. Executive Chef won it from Ko Samui. Smiling Goodbye. It's all about the ride, finishing next. Back of that was Boss of the Moss. Capital Expense shuffled second last in Dutton. They stopped the clock in 1:02 and 80.
And there you have it. Executive Chef comes up on the outside. But as you saw, about the 16th pole, it got really tight in there, and Smiling Goodbye backed out at that point. So the inquiry sign goes up like it should. The stewards take a look at this. An objection comes in as well. Doesn't matter. They're going to take a look at this anyway. And again, in these cases, this is what the stewards should do. Call the inquiry. Let's take a look. We saw something that just doesn't look right. We want to take a look at it and then make a judgment from there. Now, I'm going to show you the head-on view. And the first thing that they're going to do is look at the pathway of the horses coming down the stretch. Does their path change at all coming down the stretch? And it's pretty easy to eliminate Executive Chef out of this discussion. They don't move a bit. They stay, Goody and Chef stay on their path from the top of the stretch to the finish line. They don't move in, they don't move out, just straight and narrow from top to the bottom of the stretch. So I think that was pretty easy to eliminate any issue with Executive Chef when they were taking a look at it. But they're taking a look at all 3 horses, all 3 top finishers. Ko Samui was coming up the rail there, and about the 16th pole, engaged Smiling Goodbye and Executive Chef to make it a line of 3, and you saw a little bit of movement from Ko Samui come out just a little bit. It seemed to maybe intimidate Smiling Goodbye more than any contact, and Smiling Goodbye kind of backed out of it at that point. Many times during that point, you'll see a horse move forward and try to retake their spot. Others, they'll get a little spooked. They'll, oh, okay, no, I'm gonna cede that to you, and they go on, and Smiling Goodbye would end up a length or about a length and a half behind at the finish line. So that might have come into play a little bit, but I don't think so. I think the fact that there was not much, if any, contact at all, and it looked like that Smiling Goodbye is the one that decided that they didn't want to be in there and let the two go on. So let's take a look at the head-on here, and I think you'll see, first of all, take a look. You can see Executive Chef does not move, and there's very little contact, if any, between Côte Saint-Moi and Smiling Goodbye about the 16th pole. Let's take a look. Now, I'm sure everyone that had Smiling Goodbye to run second in the exacta, the trifectas, the superfecta, their place bets would all disagree with me. And disagree with the stewards. I can't say anything, but I think it's not only the right call, the perfect call, because I don't want them to actually have to make that type of call against me at another time. So I think the stewards got this dead on perfect. I also think it's the proper use of the inquiry. You know, I've heard earlier that there was an inquiry, and that shouldn't even have been called. No, if there's any question, there's no. This is what I don't get about the inquiry and race fans, and frankly, all officials. When you throw, how many times do you see a football official throw a penalty flag and then wave it off, saying, you know what, that wasn't a penalty? They don't do it very often. They probably should do it more. And this is the case with the stewards. If they saw something, first of all, they wanted to let the public know, yeah, we saw that too, and yes, we're going to take a look at it. And then when they take a look at it, said, nope, it didn't rise to the level of a foul. So no, sorry, the inquiry, we're not going to uphold it, and the race is official. Or nope, yep, there's enough there, we got to make a change, and then they make the change. I think it's a good thing. I'd rather see more inquiries than fewer, and I really like the fact that they went away from the steward's review and all of this stuff. Just call an inquiry. If it's not there, it's not there. I mean, sometimes we don't need to make rule changes when the rules already address exactly the issue that you're hoping to accomplish, and that is to get the right result on the tote board in the end. So let's get to the connections here. That was Blaine Wright. That was Blaine Wright's first win of the week. He ended up again getting 3 more on Sunday. John and Janine Mariansky and Gerald and Gail Schneider, the owners of Executive Chef, who paid $578, $342, and $326. Côte Saint-Moi, $19.56. That's the third highest $2 place payoff of the year. $8.62 to show. I think that's in the top 4 show payoffs of the year. That exacta paid $62.09. The trifecta is $96.17, and the superfecta is $66.40 or $664 on the $1. He Executive Chef would run that 5.5 in a quick 102.84, and again, Juan Gutierrez picking up the second in a row Friday night feature win, and again, he'd do it again on Sunday. All right, that is it for our list this week. Those are our top 10 selections of our top 10 races for this week. Coming up this next weekend is going to be, it's Father's Day weekend, and it's also the Indian Relay races, and those are fantastic. We'll have a full report coming up again next week. Thank you for watching our top 10 races from Emerald Downs this week.